Okay, so let's restart, and we'll start the second part of our event with Diogo Cunha from Ynvisible, that will talk about new opportunities for supply chain monitoring using effective and low-cost e-paper displays. So please, Diogo.
On the supply chain monitoring marketing using our own displays. First of all, I'm going to share a video. There's a small presentation of the company. So basically what we do is that we produce ultra low power printed e-paper displays. So what is this display? So basically if we explode it up, like you see here, you have a different stack of inks encapsulated in two polymer substrates. So, and this display has key characteristics that makes it unique. So the energy efficient, because you just need 1.5 to 3 voltage to operate it. It has some image memory, so compared to e-ink, is not fully bistable, so it's semi-bistable. It has an image memory for 5 to 10 minutes, and then will start to decay until it reaches 40 minutes, 50 minutes. And it only needs less than 1 microwatt per square centimeter to activate the segment. So if you have a segment of a centimeter, less than 1 microwatt is enough. We say less than 1 microwatt because that will depend on the size of the segment. So it can go from 0.1 to 1 microwatt. Since it's based on printed technology, it's flexible and thin because, again, it's printed on a polymer substrate. And it can be customized even in the shape of the outer display or the segment that you want to activate it. Right now, we don't have any video showing here, but you can also add colors into it. So the activated area would always be blue because that's the color of the ink that you use. But you can add colors on the top that would work as a filter. So you could see the activating through a color filter. It's cost effective because of its production, and now it's integrated. So since it's printed, we can scale up from sheet to roll machinery and have thousands or millions printed in just one roll. And it's easy to integrate in other electronics. So even if it is through connectors or some ACF glue. And even on those electronics, it's very easy to drive. So with a coin cell, a normal clicker, and you just plug the display, it's enough to light it up. One of the key characteristics that we also want to light up is the sustainability, because compared to other display technologies, our competitors, even if it's not display and it's just an LED, or if we're talking with TFT displays, LCD displays, e-ink displays, they produce more e-waste than we do. So, and one thing that we want to achieve in the future is a way that for us to recycle this polymer substrate that's encapsulating the display itself. The inks inside is also non-toxic because this was for us a huge achievement to work in the kids section, toys, and so on. And this needs to be here, and it's reusable. So it's simple plug and play. The display is not needed for your case anymore. You can take the display out and use it in other occasions. So with all these characteristics, makes our display suitable for intuitive and simple visual feedback. So what can we do? We can do segments and icons, monochrome colors, as I said, the blue and the color filters on top, activations in every minute or second, so you're not seeing a video or a full contrast HD movie on our display. So go back in time and think on the displays that were in the calculators. So you'd see every segment, but then they would just light up the segment that you interacted with. It's ultra low power budget, and it's thin and flexible. And for us, this is a good characteristic because it's only thin and flexible display in the market right now. So all of these reasons made our display suitable for what we think is the smart monitoring labels market. Why? Because it can bring visual feedback for every electronic product. So one thing that you're trying to be is the face of IoT. So data is everywhere, and we just want to give that feedback into people. And so the first solution that I bring here is for logistic and cold chain monitoring. So basically to track products that are temperature and humidity sensitive, a smart expired date label that would track the shelf time of a product. And the last but not least, an authenticity and security label that would say that the product is authentic or not, and would enhance the product experience with the consumer. So first of all, the logistics monitoring, what would say is we'll give 5 simple icons. One, there's always working. If the threshold of the humidity of the temperature have been breached in some time of the transportation of the cold chain, the display would light up and tell you immediately. Of course, in this case, you also have the full logging capabilities. So by NFC, you can scan it and it would redirect you to a page where you have the full graphic of where the package has been and when it passes those thresholds that were set by the customer. Another label that I bring here, it was a product developed with a Swedish company, if I'm recalling correctly, called Innocentia. And what they do is basically they develop a methane sensor. And our job in Ynvisible was to create a visual feedback for that sensor, but also to print that sensor that they were developing. So basically attached to the sensor was a small battery and some electronics that would read the state of the deterioration of the meat inside the package and would say to the customer or the client or to the distributor if the content inside is still good or not to being delivered. The last demo that I bring here is authenticity and security label. So one thing that you're trying to make with this is to make a fully printed product that where you have a full NFC pads and display printed only on one substrate, and then you can further laminate it if it's on a label, if it's on a box, in the product that you want to be authentic. And what does it say if this product is authentic or not? So companies can write on the tag their authentic product pages, and then when you read with your NFC, because one thing that I forgot to say in the beginning, so NFC, RFID, Bluetooth, LoRa, is enough to power the display. So all this wireless communication that exists is enough to power our display. So in case you just scan with your NFC and the display would light up. So we have the two-step authentication in there. So the written tag that the company did and our display, because it's almost impossible to copy. And even so, the electrochromical inks that we have inside have been developed for us and for other research institutes, and we have the license to sell those and to commercialize those. So no other people can do exactly like this display as we do it. Right now, just to give a full brief of what Ynvisible does, because I showed that we do ultra low power displays, but we develop them, but how can we produce them? So to get a brief overview of what we do, we have in Freiburg, Germany, our laboratory, our R&D, where the technology of the electrochromic and the display is being developed. We have in Almada, our customer solution center and our prototype manufacturer is where also our product development of the display is going on. And then we can scale up that prototype or pilot production to our roll-to-roll machine in Linköping, Sweden. So we can go from idea to mass production. We can ideate the display that the customer wants, prototype it, and then pass it to high volumes and get it into the market. One thing that we also do with the roll-to-roll machine is not that we just not produce our own printed technology, but we also provide other companies the aid for them to print their technologies. So Ynvisible has two main strengths. Display and RID is what I told. So we focus on selling and developing the display itself as a component. And then we have the Display Plus, is a solution development with other partners. And this is where we focus to get products out in a full printed way. So we worked with a lot of companies like Evonik, Shine. So we would print in only one substrate, the display, the battery, and then a photovoltaic panel. So in one substrate, you had a product that is ready to use, charged, and be used whatever you want. One of the applications that we are putting these products is on retail shelf labels, because the photovoltaics can be charged with indoor light. That indoor light will charge the printed battery, and that whole system will make our display works and show the price labels to the customers. To go to our prototype production, because in case anyone wants to work with us, we have a service of what you call the CDP, is a custom display prototype. So for a fee of 200,000 euros, you can propose your display, you can propose your design, we will review it, we will work entirely with the customer, not just on the display part, but also on the electronics part, and we get in 1 week 10 to 50 displays ready to be used. So, and right now, a brief video of how this production happens, how this sheet-to-sheet production works. But basically, it's serigraphic printing. So it's not inkjet or laser printing. One thing that I forgot to point out is that not just the production, but we also guarantee the optical and the electrical testing of everything that is produced in-house. So even if it's on the sheet-to-sheet, the prototype production, or if it's on the roll-to-roll high-volume production. So right now, to pass to the high-volume production, so the roll-to-roll machine, so we are very versatile because we can laminate, dice cut, we can produce and individualize every display in just one machine and also test it. And right now, just to give a brief overview of the capacities, we can produce 200 meters of roll in an 8-hour shift. So if you have a display that's 2 centimeters, that's almost like a million displays in one sheet, in one roll. And right now is going to be a brief overview of what roll-to-roll is and the capacities that it has. So on the roll-to-roll machine that you just saw is where we can provide that service to other companies. So Epishine and Evonik, like I said, the photovoltaic and the printed battery companies, they came to us to develop their product, to print their product and to bring the product to the market, to the consumer. And before ending, I would just like to point out that in our website, we have these two main kits, the segment e-paper display kit and the designer kit, which has some colors into it that you can buy on our website, see our technology, and thank you very much. One thing that I forgot to point out, the company has these three main operation sites, Germany, Freiburg, Lisbon, Portugal, and Linköping, Sweden. But we are quoted in the Canadian market, stock market. So we have a headquarters in Vancouver. So if you go to our website, you say that the company is from Vancouver because we need to have investor related and financial office in there because we are in that stock market.
Okay, so Diogo, thank you very much for the overview on this technology. So we have time for one or two questions from the audience, if we have it. Yes.
Thank you for your presentation. Can you talk a little bit about the printing techniques?
The printing techniques,
Yeah.
in which specific? In overall?
Yeah.
So basically, serigraphic printing is or roll-to-roll. So you have a frame on sheet to sheet, and on roll-to-roll, we have a tube that it lets pass the ink through the polymer substrate. So the finer the mesh of the ink, and then with the combination with the grid of the frame, you would let the percentage of ink that you want to pass to the polymer. In that case, you can control the thickness of each ink and then laminate it on top of each other.
For metals and oxides, or only?
No. Just normal inks. In this case, the only ink that we can properly print is our electrolyte and the P dot.
Okay, and about the sensors, you use chips, yes?
Yes, so to run every electronics, you'll still need some component chips or to control CPU, something like that. Built-in NXP chip.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much. Any further questions? Yes, we have one here in front.
Hi.
Any idea about the lifetime of these displays?
Lifetime that you can guarantee for now is 1 million life cycles. So basically turn on and off 1 million times.
Okay.
So, and one thing that we can guarantee that gets longer is because since it has some image memory, you don't need to keep it activated. You just need to give a pulse from 10 to 10 minutes to keep it stable if you want to have it to light up every time.
And what is the thickness of
300 microns.
300 microns?
Yeah.
The complete
stack.
multi-layer stack.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Including the
substrates.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so thank you, Diogo. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.